So, progressive overload. So, just like I discussed briefly, in the last video. There's five main ways you can progressively overload your training. So the main one is load, reps, sets, time, execution. What's the fifth one again? So there is a lot of crossover here. Like if I increase my intensity of a set, the time I'm training is going to increase. And thus, it's very similar, but you can increase the time without increasing the intensity. So there's some crossovers. Anyway, the main thing with this is you don't have to pick the one. Everyone goes. As I was saying, there's 5 different ways you can progressively overload your sets. The main ones people kind of get hung up on are your load, reps and sets. This is what's fun, it's what's sexy, it's what's cool to post on Instagram. You get to write about it in your little logbook. Is it the best? No. Is there a best? No. You pick and choose what you like. This is bodybuilding. There are no rules, there's no playbook. So the main thing you got to do here is understand when and how to apply which form of progressive overload you have here. So, as I briefly discussed in the last one with understanding training volume, this is what would be meant by training volume. It's the rep, sets and the loads you do across your session, across your week of training. Nice and simple. So you can increase your training volume, like I said in the last video, and progressively overload and get bigger, lovely jubbly, get stronger. But when that stops, and it does for most people, you can't simply just keep getting stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and get bigger, because then we'd have bodybuilders that'd be stronger than strongmen. There is a point in which, I'll clean my board. There's a point in which your progress will go like this, nice and linear, and then it'll stagnate. Yeah. So the main thing when this happens is understanding what to do. What has got you to here? What's got you here? And then what's caused this stagnation? My board is and then when you understand why you have plateaued, why your training has started to slow down, why you've stagnated, that is when it gets fun. Because that is when you fix shit, you trial and error stuff, you try different methods, you look into what you're doing, you start becoming a bit more introspective of why you're training, how you're doing it, and ipso facto all of it. So let's say you've been doing loads of reps and sets, that's the main way of progress up to here. I know that drops down. Now the tricky thing is, this duration here, that could be 3 years. It could be. You can train these styles, you can do these methods for like a proper fucking long time, because it takes a long time to build muscle tissue. So that genuinely could be 3 years. Like at what point my strength started to kind of drop off when I first started doing a lower volume approach to training, started in end of 2016, and it started to drop off around 2019. So roughly 3 to 4 years. As soon as it started to drop off, or as soon as it does start to drop off, this is when you have to take a step back, look at your training, look at what's working, like I've been saying, and then adjust. And this goes back to the previous block of videos discussing training volume. By this point, 3 years in, or however long in, you should have an understanding of what grows and what doesn't, what responds well and what doesn't. And this is when you deploy these different aspects very smartly. Because again, like, not to overlap from old video, let's say you're here, and this period, that's got 6 months. Nothing's working, you're banging head off the wall. Time to make some fucking changes. And you wanna it's fast. Need to get some root opens. And you want more of this going up. So this, use a green for this. This change. You need to adjust your training, make some adjustments. You need to understand the 5 different ways you progressively overload your training to do this. So like I've said before, load reps and sets, that's simple. Increasing your load, you're going from 100 kilo on a squat for say 10, and over the space of 4 to 8 weeks, you went from 100 kilo to 120 kilo, 140 kilo. Nice and simple. Your sets have stayed the same, your reps have stayed the same, you've stuck with 1 set, 2 sets for 100 kilo, you get a set at 10 and then a set at 8. Then all of a sudden, you go 105, 10 and 8, 110, 10 and 8, 115, 10 and 8. You get the gist. Time. Time is literally time under tension. So that's where the acronym TUT comes from. This is literally just how long you're doing the set. Using the squat analogy, if you're doing a set 8 on a squat 100 kilo and that set lasts 30 seconds, quite quick, and then 2 weeks later, same set, same weight, same reps, but it's lasting 45 seconds, or you went from 30 to 45, whatever your girlfriend says. 45 seconds isn't a long time. You've added 15 seconds under the load to progressively overload your muscle. Thus, that is a harder set than doing it for 30 seconds. Doesn't matter how much noise you're making, if you're fucking going really fast, making just a big fucking ruckus in the gym. A longer set under the tension is a harder set. There are some nuances with this, but I won't try to get into it right now, because I do get fucking carried away. Right, so that's time under tension. Next one, execution. I briefly discussed this on the last episode, but what I would do is I would put a wee dash there and say connection. No, that's space. Connection. Mind muscle connection, whatever you want to call it. Now, if you do, stick with the squat, you're doing a set 10 on the squat, set 8 on the squat, and you're feeling it a bit in your quads. Like you're getting a pump, but it's not skin splitting, your legs aren't thumping, you're not sore, you're feeling it, but you're not like roaring at you. Let's say you adjust your stance, you open up your feet, put your toes out, sit on your heels, you maybe elevate your heels, so you're getting more knees over toes. You bring your hands in, so it's more high bar position, so it's a lot more dominant, and the load's more on your quads. And then you go to squat, same weight, same reps, and all of a sudden you're at the bar and your quads are fucking screaming at you. That change in execution, that better connection, mind muscle connection, I would argue that is progressive overload. If you look at how anyone does anything that is a skill, let's take for example someone spinning a basketball on the finger. If I'd done that, I probably won't be able to do it past 10 seconds. But if you've got Michael Jordan to do it because he's mastered the skill of doing it, probably able to last till he wants to stop. And that's where the connection and the execution comes into bodybuilding. Is a squat a high skilled movement? No, babies can do it. Is there a nuance to being able to connect to your muscles to do so? Yes, that's where the skill comes into it. So if you progress that and really focus on getting that better, that's where you'll see bodybuilders make these big leaps and bounds in progress. A good person to watch from this is watch some old videos of Nick Walker back in like 2018, 2019. That's when I started following him. Strong as fuck. Now if you watch him, he is far bigger, using far less weight, and probably getting double the amount of muscle stimulus from the lesser weight, just for better form, better connection. Last but not least, intensity. So this is where your drop sets, rest pause sets, anything you can do to make a set harder comes into. Now, this is where I would look at how someone's recovery is and add it sparingly, because if you don't know what you're doing and your ability to train to failure is somewhat lackluster, you don't need to be doing rest pause sets or drop sets, you just need to train harder. I like introducing these types of sets to PT clients specifically in the early days to get them used to that failure feeling without having to batter them to get to failure, because a lot of people will hold off going there because it sucks, it's painful. But understanding all of this is where applying it to your training is really beneficial. If you don't understand how getting stronger, how doing more reps on a set is going to get you stronger, how it's going to get you bigger, as soon as you run into the first speed bump with your training, you're not going to know what to do or where to go. And the same goes with the time under tension, the execution and the intensity. If your sets are all over the place and you don't feel fucking shit, and you get this sensation in muscles, but not bang on, yes I feel that in my chest, yes I feel that in my biceps, yes I feel that in my upper back or in my traps, whatever. If you just get sensations, promise you your connection's shit, your execution shit, fix that, you won't have to go as heavy, lovely job. There is a very smart way to figure out what you need more of. I often use the example, if you're a wee guy and you're using big weights, your execution probably needs improved. If you're a big guy and you're using wee weights, you probably need to increase your load, reps and sets. And then the intensity and the time under tension just kind of falls where it lands, because as you connect better to muscle groups, as you connect better to certain movements, you'll build up your own kind of intuition of what tempo and cadence to use on each exercise. I don't stick to like any sort of tempos with my own training. I just treat it as such. There'll be sets where like I'm doing a deadlift where it's very grippy and rippy, and then you could put me on like a seat leg curl where I'm really focused on like, keeping my positioning and like really dragging my heels under myself and being a bit slower. So it does change, but that is, I would say, for someone a bit more advanced and deeper into the training.